This is a little weird since I'm doing this in front of like literally all my neighbors. Hey everyone, so it's been a long time since I've talked to you. As I'm filming this, it is March 30th, which is my 1-year transplant anniversary. Round of applause for me for living this long. Today I am coming at you with a March wrap-up. I read a ton this month because, as you know, it was the first month of quarantine and probably not the last, unfortunately. Before I get into all that, I hope you guys are staying safe. Oh gosh, someone's walking by with their dog. Love that. My anxiety has been so bad during this whole pandemic, and I don't ever want to trigger someone with my own anxiety because I know that it's a very touchy thing. Like, if you see it, sometimes it can trigger it. I've made the executive decision to not post anything that has me like talking, and if I do post any videos during this whole pandemic, it's just gonna be probably like silent videos, comforting videos, you know, things that will kind of help with nerves and stuff, I guess. Do you know what I'm talking about? I mean, like unboxings, journal with me's, study with me's, stuff like that. Things where you're not gonna hear my panic in my voice. I did want to say on top of that, to try to stay as calm as you can. You know, everything is going to be okay. As long as we are responsible citizens and practice social distancing, it will save lives. I know I'm looking all around. It's just because I've never filmed in a car and all of my neighbors are around. But I'm just going to do a quick wrap up. I did have a reading vlog earlier this month that kind of got some of my opinions out of the way. That was my first reading vlog, so it wasn't that great. So the first book I read this month was Parasite by Myra Grant. I gave that a 4-star. I really loved this book. Definitely glad I read it before all of this stuff happened, because it is not the type of book that you want to read during a global pandemic. It was definitely interesting at the time. I don't really want to dwell on it and think about it all that much right now, just because, you know, triggering, but it was really good. Once all of this is over, I definitely recommend it. Or if you can read like sci-fi medical stuff at this time, maybe go for it. It was 504 pages, but I flew through it. I really liked it. Myra Grant is definitely quickly becoming one of my favorite authors between her pen name and Sean McGuire. I also bought the second book, so as soon as I feel mentally stable enough to read it, I will. Then I read Hunger, which is a memoir by Roxane Gay. I gave a 3-star. I talked about it in my reading vlog. I don't really remember much from it, honestly, so if you want to hear my thoughts on that, just go watch that video. It was 306 pages. I think it was like a 4-hour audiobook, so it went by pretty fast. Harvesting the Heart by Jodi Picoult. I also gave that 3 stars. Definitely not my favorite Jodi Picoult book. I usually really enjoy her books, but this one didn't really have anything that stuck with me. Again, I talked about that in my vlog. The first 6 books that I'm going to mention have been mentioned in that vlog, so I'm going to just again fly through those. But Harvesting the Heart was 453 pages. A little bit of a longer audiobook. My mind kind of wandered as I listened to it, so it wasn't that memorable. Although I think that's one of her first books, so as she continues to write, they get better. The Poet X, I gave 5 stars. This was actually a reread, however, I didn't remember anything about it. So good. I read the audiobook that was actually narrated by Elizabeth Acevedo, but it was 368 pages and it was so good. I definitely recommend that one. Exit West, I gave 2 stars. I literally don't remember anything about that book, so take with that as you will. It was 231 pages, so it was quick, and it should have been able to catch my attention, but it didn't. And the final book that I mentioned in that reading vlog was Black Enough, and I gave that 4 stars, and it was 416 pages. This was also a reread, however, again, I didn't remember much about it. This was actually really good. Usually anthologies from me don't get over 3 stars. Pretty much all of these stories I enjoyed. So now getting on to the books that I didn't mention in my reading vlog. I reread The Sun Is Also a Star, and I gave that 4 stars. I have been wanting to unhaul that for actually quite a while because it just reminds me of 2015, 16, 17, and who wants to remember that time. But I gave it a 4-star if I didn't already say that. Besides obvious like insta love in like the first 3 hours that they met, I thought it was really good, and I thought it was cute, and I thought it talked about a lot of things that, you know, are still relevant in this point in time, and that was 384 pages. Then I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which was 5 stars, and it was 373 pages. My nose is running. All of my shit just fell out of my bag. Wow, that woman's mad. I don't know why she's mad, but she is. I really like this book, obviously, because I gave it 5 stars. I think it handled chronic illness well, and I think it stars a main character with fibromyalgia, which I don't want to sound like a total asshole, but it kind of sounds like rheumatoid arthritis, which I have. It does cause a ton of pain. This video is top chaotic energy for me. I like how it dealt with like chronic illness and sex, because a lot of the times people with chronic illness have a very, not, I wouldn't say abnormal, because it's not like, how am I supposed to put this without being like out there? It's just a different experience, because there's a lot of precautions, I guess, that you can take to make it like more enjoyable for you. That's what I'm gonna stick with. But I also liked the banter and the tension that was in this book. It was very good. It was very enjoyable. It was 373 pages and it flew by. Then I read The Worst Best Man. I think I mentioned in my reading vlog that I actually put this one down because I couldn't get into it, but then I found the audiobook on Scribd. And I loved this book as well. I gave this a 4-star. It was 368 pages. So good. I loved the two main characters. I thought they were the cutest thing ever. I'm really doing a great job explaining what these books are about, but honestly, if you really want to know, Goodreads and Google free. Then I read My Dark Vanessa, which was 4 stars. This was 384 pages. I also read the audiobook on Scribd. This book made me feel like every negative human emotion ever, and I don't know if it's quite adequate to give it 4 stars, because I mean, it definitely made me feel things, but I didn't enjoy it because it's just like a whole lot of sex with a minor, manipulation, like child grooming, such things. But yeah, it was just a whole lot of her making excuses for him and like not understanding that she was taken advantage of. So there's that. I do recommend that book if you can handle it. So that's definitely a heavy book, and probably not one that you want to read in a time like this, but you know what? It was on Scribd. I was gonna buy it anyway, but it was like $17 on Amazon, so I was like, might want to read it first before I dip into that investment. Then I read The Arrangement, and I gave this 4 stars. It was 343 pages. Again, flew through it. But I really liked this book. The concept of like sugar babies really not entices me, but like interests me, just because I'm like, it's so dangerous. You hear a lot, especially on like TikTok, you see like all the like sugar baby hacks, and I'm just like, y'all have balls. So brave. I could never. And this shows like the terrible side of it and all the manipulation that happens. And get your money how you gotta get it. Then I read Starry Eyes, and I give that a 4-star also. This was 421 pages. This took me forever to read, and I don't know why, because I really did like it. It was not a book where you could finish a chapter and you would immediately want to read another one. You know what I mean? So for that, I put off a star. But all of Jen Bennett's books are pretty sex positive, and it's not like the creepy sex positive where like a YA author writes sex scenes. She doesn't do that, but she does like mention having sex, which is good, because the reality of the world is teenagers have sex, so why not, you know, put a positive spin on it and make it, you know, safe. Oh god, there's a creepy guy coming down the street now. Oh, there's 2 people. I guess we're gonna wait again. Then I also read I Love You So Mochi, and I gave this a 3-star, and it was 308 pages. I really like this. This is a very fluffy book. I definitely recommend this book if you are looking for like a mindless read. Again, it was not a book that I like finished a chapter and wanted to continue reading. It was kind of like just whenever I was in the mood, I would pick it up. So for that, I took off a star, but also it like tried to make stakes, like really high stakes, but it just didn't seem that high for me. I did like hearing all about Japan and like her and her love interest falling in love in the 2 weeks that they knew each other. I don't know if I'd even reread it again. It is a beautiful book, so I'm gonna keep it. But I don't think I'd read it again. And then the last book I read, which was a Good Daughter novella by Karen Slaughter, which I haven't read in years, and I didn't even know had a novella, but I saw it on Overdrive and I was like, yes, let's get it. 176 pages, I gave it a 3-star. It's called Last Breath, and it was basically about a defense attorney trying to help a Girl Scout become emancipated from her grandparents because she has a trust and she thinks her grandparents are burning through it. Very enjoyable 2-hour audiobook. Wasn't bad. Gave it a 3-star just because it was nothing special. So this month I read 14 books, and that came to 5,005 pages. I had 0 1-stars, 1 2-star, 4 3-stars, 7 4-stars, and 2 5-stars. So that was my March reading month. I know this video was so chaotic and I didn't do a great job at wrapping up books, but you know, I never claimed to be great at that, and Goodreads is a thing for a reason. I'll try to link the books down below if you actually want to know stuff about them. If I don't do that, comment down below and remind me and I will. So yeah, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are doing your civil duty and practicing social distancing. Everything will be okay. I promise you, we will get through this together. I hope you have a great day. I love you and I will see you in my next video.